Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, we have a rather interesting story because I found it at the very top of Google Trend. But it's equally as fascinating because recently the Democrats, as well as the mainstream media, the mainstream media is actually complaining that Donald Trump is getting too much attention, or he's becoming the center of attention, which of course I find fascinating because that's the point of the media, is to draw attention to Donald Trump, to shed as much negative light on him as possible. And yet they still complain, but they don't realize that the American people aren't buying what's happening. They are seeing the political persecution. But I digress because we're going off topic. But I found it fascinating that this was the #1 Google trend because I see it as the Democrats circling the wagons around one of their own. It's interesting the way the Daily Mail wrote this, and I'm going to assume that they wrote it this way because, they're in the UK, but I'll make the clarification for those who may not catch it, but you probably already have. Democratic Minnesota Senator and Air Force vet Nicole Mitchell, 49, arrested for a burglary after being caught breaking into her stepmother's home. Now, of course, she's a Democrat senator, not a Democratic senator. The United States is a constitutional republic with democratically elected officials. The Democrats like to say they're protecting democracy, but the vote belongs to the people. The power of this country, of the United States, belongs to the people, not the government. But it's interesting the way they try to portray it because they want to be in control and want everyone to believe that they are the ones in control. And unfortunately, it is being hijacked, as we've talked about. A Democratic state senator, Minnesota, as opposed to a Democrat senator from Minnesota or representing Minnesota, who once served as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force Reserve, has been arrested on suspicion of burglary. Now, granted, far be it from me to point out these little errors because, of course, I make them my own self. But needless to say, I find it fascinating. Democratically state and who. Police were called to a home in the 700 block of Granger Road of Detroit Lakes early on Monday morning and arrested Nicole Mitchell, 49, who is from Woodbury, Minnesota. Now, on a side note, if it's of any particular interest to anybody, Woodbury, here in Georgia, not far from where I live, is where they partly filmed The Walking Dead. When authorities responded and searched the home, they found Mitchell inside and took her into custody. The home was that of her father, or late father, and where her stepmother still lives. The Becker County Attorney's Office is now reviewing the report before determining whether Mitchell, who is a first-term Democrat, hey, they got it right, as opposed to a first-term Democratic person from Minnesota or whatever, and was elected to a 4-year term in 2022, will be charged. Now, of course, when anything revolves around Donald Trump, whether it's an indictment or an accusation, he's immediately guilty. I get a lot of that, particularly on TikTok and maybe some people on other platforms who immediately jump to the conclusion that Donald Trump is guilty, when all the benefit of the doubt is always given to the Democrats, to the left, to the progressives. And as we covered yesterday on the professor there at Columbia State University there in New York, Columbia University there in New York, interesting, is it not? Because while the Democrats complain, and even the media, I guess complaining about themselves, that Donald Trump is getting too much attention or getting all the attention, which is their intention, they find a Democrat who broke into, I guess, her former father's home. Now her stepmother resides there, broke into the home. Can't imagine what she was there for. But apparently she also worked as a meteorologist. She worked as a meteorologist for the Weather Channel, which we can see her here. It looks like a WFA, but obviously we know it's the Weather Center, Weather Channel. And it's just fascinating how they circle the wagons to protect one of their own, but complain about Donald Trump constantly, even when they are trying to paint Trump in a negative light. They still complain that he's getting too much attention. Because as you know, if you guys remember during COVID, Donald Trump would come out and speak, and his approval rating was skyrocketing. And that's when they had to bring out Cuomo from New York. Yes, Andrew Cuomo, the he had certain proclivities towards women and had to be removed and had to resign. But, of course, we're not going to see any trials against him. Of course, we're not going to see any trials on his infidelity and I'm trying to find the words to get around YouTube's algorithm, but nonetheless, you understand what I'm saying here, that when it comes to the left and the Democrats, of course, they are well protected, given all the benefit of the doubt, all the nice glowing headlines, of course, as well. But I'd like to get your thoughts down in the comments. Do you not find it fascinating that the mainstream media and Democrats are complaining that Donald Trump is getting all the attention, but when it's one of theirs that gets in trouble, they circle the wagons to protect her? And that's their business. They can do that. I hope people can see that. But nonetheless, I would like to get your thoughts on that matter. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much across NewTek, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. It is greatly appreciated. And, of course, everyone here on YouTube. Below this video on all the platforms, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so I would encourage you guys to follow me there. As well as if you are a Prime member on Amazon or order frequently, you can use my links down below. It does help out the channel, so consider using that on the next time you order from Amazon. And if you're interested in a VPN, I have my favorite down there. That would be TrustZone. If you guys just want the direct access to a VPN without all the fluff and so forth that you get from other packages that are way more expensive, get a great deal there from TrustZone. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much. Appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon for those of you watching here on the YouTubes, as some people call it. You can click on that icon there, the channel icon, to subscribe to the channel, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I will see all you guys in the next video.